We had a press conference yesterday. And here's what you have to understand about that press conference. There was nothing that Chris Grier could have said to satisfy you, because there's nothing satisfactory. They're not winning. There's no foundation. There's no leadership now. They're in a transitory period. Congratulations to David Furones. He asked it about the soft reset or reset. And he said, no, we haven't talked about it. Of course, because they have to say that because they're trying to save their jobs. They can't say we're trying to reset now. The owner he doesn't really know football, but they got to know they're not in a really good position. They got to know they blew their load the last couple of years where they had the better teams and they failed. So there was nothing. That was a nervous man. That was a defeated man yesterday. If you didn't see a defeated Chris Grier yesterday, you don't know how to read the room. You don't know how to read body language. I felt bad for him. That's how bad. When I was looking at that, I felt bad. The man was nervous. The man couldn't answer questions. I love how people, one of the things, like when they asked him about leaders, and he doesn't mention to us, so all of a sudden that's a slide onto it, but he mentions Tyreek. And then how can you mention Tyreek? Of course, because he's nervous. He's not even thinking after Sealer or whatever. It just, and it's hard to mention people that are unreliable. Tua for injury, Tyreek for everything else. You know what I'm saying? He had no answers. He was cornered. He could not pump his chest up, because last year when he tells you he's not worried and Mike are not worried about the offensive line, they're coming off an 11-win season. So there's something to pump your chest about. They had the 11-win season. At the end, they were so injury-riddled. They were picking up people that had Geritol in their damn locker rooms for that last game. So I get they had a reason to have a little cockiness. Yesterday, there was a man that had nothing. He has no rooks. He has no knights. Okay? Nothing. There are no bishops. There's no queen with the mobility to move around the board wherever she wants. He had nothing. He has an injury-prone quarterback that right now looks severely overpaid. He has a nut bag for a wide receiver that is as undisciplined and as it gets. They had an opportunity to get off the crazy train, but just like Ozzy Osbourne, they stayed on it and guaranteed the money. I'm sorry, folks. It's written in the stars, a million miles away. A message to the fans. Okay? Sorry. Seasons come and go, but nothing ever change. And I'm on my way. Okay? Sorry. And if you don't know Tinny Tempa, screw you. That's what you got yesterday. You got a defeated man. He's got a coach that can't get you anywhere. Can't lift all ships. There's no Spo there. There's no Paul Maurice there. I can't believe Spo, Coach Maurice. True apology here. I am sorry for even including you next to Mike McDaniel. He had nothing in that press conference. Let's be honest. You can complain, I can't believe he said this. What did you expect him to say? explaining the Jalen Ramsey thing makes no sense because there's no honesty, because you're trying to save your job and you have to try to paint everything, and it's so obvious that it's bad. And I felt terrible for the man yesterday. It's like this is why Stephen Ross doesn't do interviews anymore, because it doesn't benefit him, because he's got nothing. And yesterday, do you think he really wanted to do that press conference? Hell no, dude. He was defeated. That was painful. That was sad, because there's nothing. Nothing. It doesn't matter, dude. It's that scene from History of the World Part 1 where Sid Caesar's there and he's in the streets. I've got nothing. I've got nothing for sale. That's Chris Grier was that dude in History of the World Part 1 in that scene. Right? I've got nothing for sale. What was he going to tell you that was going to make you feel better? That yesterday, what we had was a Mexican piñata day. Okay? I go back to when I was a kid. You youngins don't do this anymore, I'm sure. Maybe they do it still in Mexico or other places in Central and South America for kids. So you would come out, you were a kid, and then the birthday boy or girl, they'd give them a little bat, little stick, and then a donkey, burro, and it was full of candy. And then they'd blindfold and whack it until all the candy, and then all the kids were scrambling for all the candy. You just had a Mexican piñata press conference yesterday. Chris Grier, the Mexican piñata press conference. He knew he was going to be the sacrificial lamb because he went to a podium with no ammunition whatsoever. No true plan for the future, no true plan for the present, no true actual things that you can count on offense or defense or your coach. Nothing. He couldn't stand on a damn thing. That's what you saw yesterday. So to whatever you want to nitpick or what, it's like, are you surprised now at this point? Like, now you're figuring it out? The run is done. I keep telling you that. And for those of you, come back with me. How far are we? How far are we from starting the rebuild? Unless there's a miracle, there's at least 133 of you. Some of you have heard it. Ladies and gentlemen, how far are we from starting the rebuild? How many of you have learned? Please tell me. Please tell me. Let me see the chat board there. Huh? Let me see the chat board. There we go. Alexis Palenzuela. 3 years. This year's a wash. Next year, you have all the other salaries that you got to wash through. And you really can't even start anew till 3 years from now. And you still will have dead cap space. 3 years from now. So I'm sorry if I'm telling you that this season's going to suck, but I'm also telling you next season's going to suck. Am I going to be here? Yeah. Will I talk about it? Yeah. Do I love the team? Hells to the yeah. But if you can't handle the truth, bro, just get your ass out of here. If that's what you are, you're such a weak fan that you're so insecure that if you hear something negative, oh, I can't hear that. People are a trip. Absolute trip.